Hello and welcome to Word for All Season. The message you are about to hear will transform your future and destiny. The Word of God is living and powerful. The principle Pastor Matthew is going to share a proven principle in the circle of life. It has transformed millions of people's life and it could change you too. Life principle never change. Methods may change, but principle remain the same. So here is Pastor Matthew.
The things I'm going to teach you through the series are going to make you or break you. Today I'm going to share the 7 steps that can really make you to the best person where you will enjoy your life and others too. So if you listen carefully, I guarantee that these talks are going to change your life. So when we look into life, we are not the creatures of circumstances. We are not the victim of the situation. We are the creation of our own. It's true that we are made by God. Different people believe in different ways. But whatever you are today is a result of what you were yesterday. And what you are going to become tomorrow is a result of what you are today. So it's so important that we have to get rid of the blame game. We love to blame people for what we are. But I'll tell you, you never reach anywhere. When you look into life, we have different kind of thoughts coming into our life, into our mind. You can never stop these thoughts coming into you. But you can always stop these thoughts harboring in your mind. Somebody said like this: you can never stop birds flying over your head, but you can stop them from making a nest on your head. So your thoughts leads you to action. Repeated action develop habits, and then habits develops life. So whether you have a good life or bad life, it all depends on the kind of the habits that you have developed within yourself. So today I want to share with you about 7 habits that can make you highly effective, or that can make you as a successful person. So when you look into the habits, as I told you earlier, thoughts come to you and repeatedly coming, that leads you to action. When you regularly do the similar kind of action, that develop the habit. So let's look at the 7 habits that can really build you a life of success, life of achievement. So when you look into the habits, one of the first habit that you need to develop is a habit of being proactive. So number 1 habit that you need to develop is a habit of being proactive. Not waiting for people to come to inspire. You look for inspiration. When you get up in the morning, you get up with an attitude that I have a life waiting for me. That life is going to be exciting. You might have had lots of bad things yesterday. You might have had lots of challenges, crises. Maybe you've been a failure. You did things and it really went wrong and it really didn't do well at all. And you came home last night totally discouraged, thinking that how I'm going to make it tomorrow, how I'm going to face that situation. But I want to tell you, today is a good day, it's a new day. You are the boss of your life. Sometimes we have to teach ourselves to wear certain kind of attitude. If you have lots of things going wrong, you have to put it aside and say, this is a new day, I'm going to be proactive. Proactive means you are looking for an opportunity to be active, not waiting for somebody to come and inspire you. In life, we always get what we look for. Some people get up in the morning looking for opportunities. They always find the opportunities. Some people get up in the morning saying that, oh, my life is so bad. It's so sad. It's not going to happen. They seldom see opportunities coming to them. If you look around, your life is full of opportunities. Everywhere you look, there are opportunities unlimited. 2 people in a jail. One man looked through the jail window and he saw only bars, iron bars. He was counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He could see only the bars and getting depressed, saying that I'm behind these bars, who will set me free, or when my case is going to over. And another guy, he saw the stars. So be a proactive person. A proactive people are such, they see life as a challenge. They don't see life as a crisis. They see life as a game, and they get up in the morning, I'm going to play my game well. So a proactive person is a person always see opportunities everywhere he looks at. For that, meditation or prayer really helps you. When you talk about prayer or meditation, it's not about just sitting and blabbering something. It's about taking a stock of your emotions, doing evaluation of what you do, and it's a time of soul searching, self-reflecting. It really helps you to be proactive. Develop a habit that never give up. You fail only the day you accept that you are a failure. Till that, every failure you face is an opportunity to learn more. Every time a proactive person falls down, he doesn't make a conclusion, I can't make it anymore. He gets up and he thinks through it and find out, why did I fail? Sometimes you fail in things, it simply means that you may need a little more time, or you may need to gain a little more knowledge, and you may need to make certain changes within yourself. That's all it means. The second quality that you need to develop is that you begin with end in mind. You have to make a conclusion that what do you want. I like one verse in the Bible. It says that give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give it to God what belongs to God. You have to learn to define what you want. See, when I work with my colleagues and with people who works with me, my policy is simple, that I will give them what they want so that they could give me what I want. You can never achieve things without understanding the people around you. So you have in your mind very clear that what you are trying to achieve. What is the end that you want it to be? Define your goal very clearly. If somebody asks me what I wanted, I know it very clear that what I wanted, I always tell. And it's funny, sometime when you tell people clearly what you wanted, some people don't like it at all. Some people hate you by knowing that what you really wanted. Though it doesn't cost them anything, though it has nothing to do with them at all, they get upset. But doesn't matter. You make it a point. You begin with end in mind. I had seen people become enemies just because you define clearly that what you wanted to become. But that does not stop you from having a clear picture of what you wanted to become. Have your end in your mind. What do you want to become? You want to make money? Make it very clear. You want to make a name? You want to be popular? Say that I want to be a popular man. Do you want to be a businessman? You want to make lots of money? Say it very clear that I want to make money. Lots of people struggle because they are insecure. They don't clearly define what they really wanted to become. Okay? So begin with your end in mind. Make it clear that what you wanted to become, and then it's easy for you to evaluate your day-by-day work. You can sit back and think every evening, what am I doing? Is it leading me to what I wanted to become? I have come across lots of people who really don't know what they wanted to become. So today they will say something, I want to become like this. Tomorrow they'll be saying that I want to become that. Day after tomorrow they'll say something else. They go on shifting and they never reach anywhere. But if you are clear that what you wanted to become, then it's easy for you to assess every day what you're doing. Okay, so the third step is that put first things first. To manage our lives effectively, we must keep our mission in mind, understand what is important as well as urgent, and maintain a balance between what we produce each day and our ability to produce in the future. Think of the former as putting out fire, and the latter as a personal development. Put first things first. If I ask you, what is the most important thing in your life? What is the most important thing in your life? Different people will give me different answer. Some people say, God is the most important thing in my life. Some people say, my children are the most important thing in my life. Some say, my business is the most important. Different people have different kind of things. Is those things are getting your time and your attention? Once you define what is the most important things in your life, then the next is you must make time and attention for it. If you don't make time and if you don't put an attention into it, it will remain as a wishful thinking for a while. Then later it will go down as a daydream and you lose passion for life. Everyone has good desires. Every one of us. We all want to do well. Who doesn't like good money? Who doesn't like reputation? Who doesn't like recognition? We all love it. We all love it. And I remember as a teenage boy growing up, I grew up with lots of excitement. I want to do this, I want to do that, all kinds of things. But I become, according to what I invested my time in, I become what are the things I gave into. I did not become everything that I dreamed of, but the things that I clearly defined as a first thing in my life and invested time, I become like that. So the third quality you must develop is that put first thing first. Whatever is your prime responsibility, give your best into it. And the fourth quality you must develop is that always think win-win attitude. I come across people who are always busy in using others for their own personal benefit. There are different kind of people you come across. Some people use people as a stepping stone to reach where they wanted. They use every possible person who comes into their life. They use them as a climbing step. They use them and climb the ladder of success, and they reach this so-called success or achievement only to be lonely and desperate. In life, what is the most valuable is not the money, is not the asset. The most valuable is the people. There is nothing more valuable than people. When you use people to achieve your means and gains, you are going to be surrounded with the hurting people. The very people who are supposed to give you happiness will give you grief in the days to come. So, when you think win-win attitude, you want to be a winner and you want everybody else to be a winner. I put it like this: success is something that happened to you while you are busy in helping everybody else to be successful. If you are a leader in a business place or in a company or wherever you work, you need to develop certain fatherly or motherly quality within you with the people who are working with you. There are two ways you can develop people. One is that you become a boss over them so heavy and they are carrying you and they always complain about you and they are tired by carrying you. Your kind of leadership is heavy-handed and you are kind of sitting over it. They all feel like we are the losers and he is the winner. That's a lose-win attitude. Then there's an attitude, win-lose attitude, I win, you lose. But the right attitude you must develop is a win-win attitude. You want to be a winner, they want to be a winner. Some people hate win-win attitude. They say that, oh, if I allow them to win, they're going to use everything, they're going to take advantage of me and they're going to win and I'm going to be left behind as a loss. No! That's lose-win attitude. A win-win attitude, it is more hard-working, where you analyze things, you evaluate things, you don't take people for granted and you don't let people to take you for granted in your mind. One thing you always make it clear, I'm not going to use them to achieve my aims. I'm going to work with them where they will be winners. In turn, they are going to help me. I'm going to be a winner. So when there's a win-lose attitude, you as a leader, your leadership is going to be heavy-handed. People below you feel the weight of you and they are stressed and suppressed and unhappy with you. But when you have a win-win attitude of leadership, you are not bossing over them, you are working with them. Carrying people. It's not about sitting over them. It's all about carrying them and say, let's do it together. Develop a win-win attitude. When you have a win-win attitude, there will be a positive energy in your workplace. The people who work with you, they are excited. They are not disturbed. They are not insecure. They know that they are going to achieve what they want. They don't feel used. They feel complimented. In a win-win situation, everybody is a winner. The fifth thing is that seek first to understand rather than being understood. For that, you need to be an effective communicator. Now, communication is one of the very important key that you need to develop for all aspects of your life. We human beings are social animal or social being, different people call different ways. But we can never live without other people. We all are interconnected. We all need other people in our life. And when you talk about the communication, sometimes the communication is not effective due to 4 reasons. One is that some people, when you start talking to them without listening, they want to give you advice. Seek first to understand rather than being understood. It's all about communication. Learn to communicate effectively. Be a good listener. Listening is an art that you need to develop. Most of us are hasty. There are 4 barriers for communication. One is that when somebody wants to talk to us something, we wanted to advise them what to do, even without listening. It's so funny. I had seen many times. People want to advise you without even knowing what you're going to talk to them. Then there is another danger, is called you want to rationalize. Oh, that happened to you. It happened to everybody. It's okay. When somebody wanted to communicate, he wanted to pass his emotion to you. He expects you to be a good listener. The third is that some people ignore when you try to communicate with them. They are so occupied with their own ideas and their own thoughts and their own troubles, where they give very little time. Certain people, when I talk, I feel to give him one on his forehead, right one on his forehead, so that he come to his sense and he could listen, because they just don't listen. They're so occupied with what they are. Then you see some people hijack the whole communication. You start talking to them, they will come out, you know what happened? They don't even let you to talk, and they start a big conversation maybe for another 30 minutes or 1 hour, where you never got a chance to talk to them at all. Then some people are very habitual interrupters. They keep on interrupting. They never let you talk. So one of the habits in order to be an effective leader, you must try to understand others rather than you want to be understood. So most people don't listen at all. They listen long enough to devise a solution to the speaker's problem or a rejoinder to what is being said. Then they dive into a conversation. You will be more effective in your relationship with people if you sincerely try to understand them and fully before you try to make them understand your point of view. So one of the very important habits you're going to develop is that be a good listener. Try to understand people. When you counsel people, when you talk to your wife in your house, just listen to her. Don't talk. Or when you wanted to talk to your children, and try to listen what they have to say. One father went and complained to his counselor, said that I have a huge problem with my son. He doesn't understand me. I love him, I do everything, he doesn't understand. The counselor asked him, do you listen to him? No, he don't understand. But when is the last time you sat with him and allow him to talk to you? He said, oh, I never thought like that. He said, how can he understands you when he has a feeling that you don't understand him at all? So, fifth quality that you need to develop is seek first to understand rather than you want to be understood. When you have a communication with your wife or with your children or with your workmate or your friend, be a good listener. Allow them to talk. I know certain people you come across, they will talk through and never allow you to say a word. Probably by communicating with them, you learn what is called patience. So you become more smarter than they are. And I know some people are habitual talkers, they just go on talking. But you can avoid them later. And in order to be a good, effective leader, you need to be a good communicator, you need to be a good listener. You need to always put an effort to understand. When people know that you understand them, they are going to give their heart for you. They are going to love you for that. We live in a very fast-paced life. Everything is all about quick fix. I don't know whether you notice in the corporate world, sometimes they don't even allow you to talk. Everybody is all about shutting others down and overpowering each other and me, better than others. We live in a me culture. But smart people don't give into it. They always put an effort to understand others. At the end of the day, what we really need is a little bit of happiness and a little bit of peace of mind and a bed to sleep and a mate to hug. That's the most important things that you require in your life. If these things are there, then you are going to enjoy your life. So always put an effort to understand other people. Don't be worried about what they think about you. You try to have a right understanding about them. Once you develop that understanding of what they are, then your life becomes much more easier than others. Sixth quality is synergize. Develop a creative cooperation. Build an excitement. Like everyone is valued and everyone is appreciated, and there is a mutual respect for one another. And the seventh is you must develop a habit of sharpening your soul. A regular way of developing yourself. People say that in order to be effective, 80% of the time you must invest in developing yourself, and 20% of the time you are to spend in developing the things that you do. When you start life, the beginning of your life is all about hard work. After some time, it's not at all about the hard work, it's all about the smart work. But I do have seen people who don't do hard work, then they try to do smart work. They never become a smart work, they become the crook work. They try to manipulate people and make them do work and take their advantage. That kind of leadership or that kind of character do not enjoy their life. So sharpen your skills, your mental ability by reading, visualizing, planning, writing, thinking, spending time alone in meditating, evaluating things. Sharpen your mental ability on a regular basis. Every day make it a point to spend some time alone, away from all the activities, just to visualize. Creative visualization, if you do regularly creative visualizing, your brain capacity will grow day by day. Your brain cells start getting developed. Some of the most intelligent and the best people in the peak of their performance, they had used only 10 to 20% of their ability. So there is so much in you. By spending time alone in reading, visualizing, planning, writing, meditating, praying, you develop your mental ability. Every part of your mental mind, your brain become active and you become more clever. Spend time on sharpening your spiritual ability, which means value clarification and commitment, study, meditation. Now, you must have heard so many books about positive thinking, how to develop yourself, personality development, power of positive thinking. It's all very good, but that's only the one side of the picture. Then the other side, there is a supreme being, a supernatural being called God, who has an unlimited power and resource which He kept for you, ready, available, irrespective of which religion you believe. So spending spiritual sharpening time by reading the holy books, reading the personality development, reading spiritual books and praying, you get connected with the divine being. You, natural being, get connected with the divine being, so the divine power will be released in your life. So the divine power will enable you to do the things that you are not able to do. So you're going to sharpen your mental skill, sharpen your spiritual skills. One of the good spiritual skill is to read people. Intuition. Try to see things through. Then develop your social and emotional skills. How to do stress management, how to do service to people, empathize with people, getting involved in people's life. Develop a healthy emotion. Your emotions are powerful. But if emotions are not tamed, they can be like a wild animal, destroy your life completely. You need to develop a positive emotional energy within yourself. You need to develop how to connect yourself to the people. When I was growing up as a boy, I thought being a tough, rough guy is the best way. Everybody will get scared of you and people will be frightened. So I went to gym and I built my body, built good muscles and start smoking lots of beedies to make my limbs black and give a rough look, and it really did work. Lots of people got scared of me, but later stage I wanted to have a girlfriend, but no girls want to be my friend. I tried to go after. I remember one girl, I went after her to talk to her, and she became sick. She got fever and she couldn't come to college for 3 days, and I was suspended from the college. So much about her girlfriend I couldn't get. Then I found out the girls like soft, nice, loving people, not a rough, macho man. Then I started looking in the mirror and said, I need to change. The first thing I wanted to change is I want to learn to smile. So I used to look at the mirror and smile regularly. I walk on the street, I used to smile. I'm sure many people might have thought I had gone out of my head. But I developed a habit of smiling always. Today, when I go around, people always comment about my smiling attitude. I always laugh, I always smile, irrespective of what happened. So you need to develop your social and emotional skills. Smiling, being a polite person, being a pleasant person, being a person of good attitude, being a person who makes others feel wanted and welcome, makes others feel comfortable. Then other one is physical thing. You have to develop physically, doing regular exercise, eating proper food, having proper sleep. Sometimes when you don't have proper sleep and when you don't eat proper food, you can become physically weak. It affects your emotion, it affects your workplace, it affects everything. So the seventh point, the most important, is that you sharpen your skills in life. Sharpen your mental skills by reading, visualizing, planning. Sharpen your spiritual skills by meditating, praying, reading holy books. And develop your social and emotional skills by developing positive energy within yourself. Develop your physical skills regular exercise, proper sleep, eating nutritious food. So your thoughts become action, your action develop habits, and your habits makes a life. If you are a successful person, you become successful because you develop good attitude. If you develop bad attitude, then you are going to be a failure. I know you may make lots of money, but at the end you will be lonely. So, 7 habits which you need in your life to become highly effective. Number one, be a proactive person. Always a person of excitement, person of active, always looking for an opportunity to get involved. The second is begin with the end in mind. Have a sure idea of what you wanted to become. The third thing is that put first thing first. What is the most important thing in your life? Make sure you give your time and attention to it. Fourth thing, always think win-win. Don't try to use people for your benefit. Don't become a victim or martyr by allowing other people to make use of you and dump you at the end. Have a win-win. He win and you win, we all win. The fifth is that seek first to understand rather than being understood. Talk less, listen more. I like to quote one scripture from the Bible. It says that be quick to listen and slow to speak and very slow to be angry. Okay? A good listener. And the sixth quality is synergize. Work in cooperation. Work with people. Get people involved in what you do. Always be stimulating. Always be encouraging. The seventh is sharpen your soul. Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. If you develop these 7 habits, I guarantee you in 2 years' time, your life will not be the same again. You will enjoy your life. People enjoy your company. What is more better than being a likable guy? Come on. Being a likable guy is a good fun. What is better? You walk in, everybody say, wow, he came. What a great feeling. Thank you very much.
I hope this message has blessed your life. You are welcome to join with us for a lively praise and worship at Emerald Lawns every Sunday at 11 a.m. Come, join us and enjoy the power of changed lives. Once you meet Jesus, your life will never be the same again. Jesus is the answer for all your problems. When God works in you, you are a winner. I believe you are blessed by the message that you have heard today. We are working constantly to make a change in our community. Come and support our charity called El Shaddai Street Child Rescue, rescuing thousands of children from the streets and slums of India and making them responsible, confident citizens of the nation. For more information, please visit our website www.childrescue.net. We are looking after hundreds of children through our children's home, shelters, and community care centers. You can help a child go to school by paying Rs 800 a month, or you may support a child in our homes by paying 1,500 a month. Feel free to come and volunteer with us to help the poor and needy. Thank you and God bless you.
Hello, once again, thank you to be with you. Thank you for allowing me to come to your house to talk to you about success mantras, the mantras that can change your life, the teachings that can transform your life. I become what I am as a result of listening to many people and learning, reading many books. And I guarantee that if you listen, it's going to change your life. So today, I want to talk to you about leadership. When I say the word leader or leadership, what does come in your mind? For some people, you will think of Subhash Chandra Bose or Mahatma Gandhi or Winston Churchill or Mother Teresa or maybe Abraham Lincoln. For some others, you will think of a corrupt politician, or you think of your boss who is like a dictator. The true leadership is an ability to lead other people, or true leadership is a leadership that works for the common cause. It's all about people, it's all about others. When you understand the true leadership, you will know one thing for sure: leadership is not about me, it's about us. When you will know one thing, that leadership is all about helping people to discover themselves. In the bargain of helping people, in the bargain of building people, you get yourself built in such a way far beyond that you can make yourself. There are two types of leadership. One is a leadership that you sit over people, you lord over people, where other people feel you're a burden. You're like something that overbearing, something that they carry. Another form of leadership is that where you carry people, they look at leader as someone who encourages them, someone who motivates them, someone whom they can call in the time of trouble, someone whom they can depend on. So I want to talk about such kind of leadership. So when you think of leadership, the first question that comes to you is, what is leadership? So leadership is leading people. Simple as that. Leadership is leading people. If you say you're a leader and if nobody follows you, you're not a leader, you're just taking a walk. And leadership is influencing people. You can never lead people without influencing. John C. Maxwell, one of the leadership guru, a widely respected man in the United States and all of the world, say leadership is nothing more, nothing less, it is just an influence. Some people say leaders are born, but I would say no, leaders are made. All of us are born as leaders. We are born with the leadership qualities. There are types of leadership. And there are leaders, they have that position they achieved. They work hard and they worked and struggled and they came to a position of leadership. Some people are leaders simply because they have a personality and they have a certain amount of charisma. Leaders are because they have a good moral example. Now when you study about moral example, there are various reasons why you have a good moral example. Some people have good morals because they are so frightened of doing wrong. I have come across people who don't do wrong at all. It's not because they don't like wrong things. They're scared of the consequences of wrong. And those kind of people never achieve anything. They never reach anywhere. When you want to set on with your life and when you want to venture, you are bound to make mistakes, you're bound to do wrong things, but don't be dominated by the fear of doing wrong. Be driven by the passion to achieve, passion to come back. Some people say, I never try anything new because I may fail. I'll tell you, if you never try anything new, you will be driven by other people and you will end up becoming a crazy guy at the end. Be challenging, be capable. Okay, some people are leader by moral example. Some people are the moral example that is developed over a period of time by looking in others, by reading, by praying, by reading holy books. Some people are more good moral examples because of their family background. Some people are leaders by the power they held. They have nothing to do with it. This power is handed over to them by somebody else. Say probably you run a family business, you become a businessman not because you have the business ability, just because your father set up a business. Now there is another kind, is the intellectual leaders. And now intellectual leaders, they are very intelligent, they are educated well, but there are too many pitfalls. When you're too intellectual, people don't like you. They may come to you to listen because of your intellectuals, but they never trust you because they think you're too smart and too intelligent and they're frightened that you may take advantage of them. Then there are leaders because they become leaders because they have an ability to accomplish things. Now if you're a leader because you have an ability to accomplish things, you are more of a taskmaster. You may not be a leader. You will be a leader as long as your ability runs. When your ability diminishes, your leadership diminishes. Then there is, when you go through all this kind of leadership types, all of them, well, one or other way good, but they are not complete. The complete leadership is a leadership that you work hard within yourself and you develop yourself. A complete leadership is driven by a purpose, driven by a passion, driven by a need to change, driven by a vision that you want to change the world. Such kind of leadership never die. Such kind of leaderships are the leadership that inspire millions of people in the days to come. The common activities of the leaders are planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. These are their gifting. These are their thought. These are their purpose. And they often do it in such an inspiring way. When they control you, you don't even feel you've been controlled. You feel you've been encouraged. When you talk about the planning, managers involved in planning, budgeting, set targets, establish detailed steps, allocate resources. But whereas leaders, they devise strategies, they set directions, they create visions. These are the purposes of leaders. So there's a great difference in the leaders and managers. In terms of organizing, managers create structures, they write job description, they are focused on staffing, they are focused on hierarchy, and they are focused on delegates and training. Whereas leaders get people on board for strategy, leaders communicate things effectively, leaders do networks, leaders lead people. Sometimes leaders are just cheerleaders. They just keep on saying to their associates and their colleagues and people who work with them, you are doing so well, you are excellent, you can do better things, you are fantastic. A leader inspires people, whereas a boss threatens people or intimidates people. Leaders lead where the managers or bosses controls. Leaders are very good in empowering people and cheering them up. Leaders are busy in not solving people's problems. Leaders get busy in helping people to solve their own problems. If you keep on solving people's problems, people will never learn how to handle life or how to handle their leadership. A good leader is most of the time like a good trainer. His job is to regularly inspire them. His job is regularly envisioning them, telling them you can do it better. A good leader never involved in controlling. He controls things but he don't control people. A leader, he motivates people, he inspires people, he gives them a sense of accomplishment. A leader works with people whereas a manager make them do work for him. When you work under a leader, he makes you feel you're working for yourself. I believe the leadership qualities or leadership traits are something that you're going to start developing in people as young as possible, probably from their childhood. There are some good parents, when the children start growing up at the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, they pass on responsibility. They'll call and say, Mike, this is your job, you're going to keep the room clean. Smith, you're going to do that. Or Rekha, you're going to wash up the clothes or wash up the utensils. They give direction to their children and allow the children to get on. Then I had seen some other parents, they're like almost nagging their children all the time. How you study, how you study, how you study, how you study. They're more of pestering their children, and the children, the moment the parent opens, they'll say, Mama, I know what you're going to say, how you studied. So that's not the way. You as a parent, you have to start working with the children to become leaders right from their young age. The children who get an opportunity to be involved in leadership and organizing from the young age, there's a good possibility for them to turn to become the world leaders. But the children who never got an opportunity to get involved in organizing things or leadership, they grew up only to become clerks or peons or attenders or someone who works under other people, always with the fear of underachievement, always the fear of performance. That way you won't make the world a better place. When you talk about intelligence that can be developed, intelligence is a must quality for a leader. You can never become a leader without becoming intelligent. Intelligence is something that can be developed over by exposure to risk and exposure to danger. When you deal with the children, the more you expose your children to risk and danger in a controlled, monitored way, is a way you develop the child to the leadership. You become intelligent by reading books. You become intelligent by following good leaders, taking challenges, taking tasks in your life. You become intelligent by doing things that you never done before. You become intelligent by meditation. You become intelligent by spending time on self-reflection. The second character trait of leadership is knowledge. You have to develop knowledge. If you want to lead any kind of organization or a movement or any system, it's important that you need to acquire knowledge about what you are going to lead. You cannot lead an institution without gathering knowledge about the institution as the goals and strategies. And leadership trait is an ability to getting things done. You must have ability to get things done. You must have an ability to make people to work. The ability to get things done again is an art which you need to develop over a period of time. It's not that something that you're born with. You work with people again and again. Sometimes they are uncooperative, they don't listen to you, they don't want to do what you say, they want to do their own things. They think, who are you to tell me? They think that they know better than you. You come across so many challenging situations, but there is always a fine line in between. Without overpowering them, without controlling them, you can just get alone and motivate them to get the work done. To lead say 5 or 6 or 10 people, or to lead a small institution may be very easy. But to lead a growing institution without losing its vision and purpose is a task. It's not a task that you already achieved. It's a task that you've got to constantly work on with it. If you lead out of your knowledge of the past, then you are an outdated leader. If you lead with the knowledge of the future, you are a future leader. But if you lead with the knowledge of the present, you become a present leader. You have a choice. I'll put it like this. All three are important. You need to have the experience and the knowledge of the past. You need to have an idea of the future and culminate, put both together and lead the present. If you think only of the future, you don't understand the present, your leadership is going to be like a mystery. If you know only of the past and try to lead, your leadership is a history. But if you can join both together and have a good understanding of the present and lead, then you become a popular leader who is present. So, your personality plays a vital role in your leadership. Your verbal skill plays a vital role. When you are a leader, when you talk to people, always talk positive. Even if you wanted to say something negative to somebody, say it in a positive way. Say like one of your staff done something that's really bad, instead of telling, oh, what you done is bad, instead of that you would say, how are you? How has it been done? Then he will start saying, ask questions that's thought-provoking. Then he'll start saying, then you can tell him that you can do better. Always help people to find their own answer. Always help people to work for themselves. Always help people to find themselves. Then your work will be much easier. Verbal ability is very, very vital. The way you talk is very important. If you want to be a good leader, always be a pleasant person. Talk positive. Honesty is one of the key factors of leadership. Nobody wanted to follow a dishonest leader. Initiativeness, taking initiative to do new things, is another vital character trait for a leader. People who learn to take initiative, they become the leader. You become a good leader only when you invent new things, when you bring new things for your followers. The day you stop growing is the day you stop leading. If you want to be a current leader, you should always learn to walk 1 step or 5 steps ahead of people. Don't walk too far away from people where they cannot understand you. Then you cannot become a leader. You can only become a mystery for them. If you want to be a good leader, you must be close enough to people to understand and read their feelings and their need. And you've got to be high enough for people to look up to you, to follow you. That's a magic. That you can learn it. So in order to be a good leader, you have to develop verbal ability. You have to be honest. You have to be a person who takes initiatives, and you have to be an aggressive person. When you are a leader, you must remember one thing: you are seeing things that others are not able to see. Now your job is to bring that what you see into their life and help them to change, to think in line with you. Now again, when you talk about change is a process. You cannot make change overnight. It's always create instability, problems, and it can even break the momentum that you have. So change is gradual, change is process. Now when you are a leader, you take initiatives and you bring new things. You've got to be aggressive with that new things. You've got to have an attitude of never give up. You've got to have an attitude when nobody believes in you. You believe in yourself. All the good leaders I come across, they were aggressive. When I talk about aggressiveness, it's not the aggressiveness of words, It's not the aggressiveness of action. Sometimes it is more of a hastiness. I mean aggressiveness with your vision, aggressiveness with the purpose that you want to achieve. That having an attitude that never give up. Even when nobody believes, I believe that it is going to happen. You know, the people who made change in this world, they believe that they can make a change when nobody was there to believe in them. So you have to be aggressive if you want to be a good leader. The next character trait you need to develop to become a good leader, you've got to be self-confident. If you are not confident, how can you tell others to be confident? You know, there are times in my leadership life, I was really scared of the situation. My mind was taunting me. People said, how are you going to do it? But I put a very self-confident, brave up front and say, we are going to do it. 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 Self-confidence is very important. You've got to be confident in yourself. I come across people who put their confidence in other people. I'll tell you, you will be betrayed. I've seen people always struggling to please others instead of pleasing themselves. Can I say one thing? When you deal in life, you got to remember you are a very important person. You got to remember God respects you. So you need to learn to respect yourself. Be ambitious always. Don't be overexcited about what you have achieved in the past. Be excited about what you have ahead of you. I was listening to Zig Ziglar when he was 82. He was saying that somebody asked him, what is the most rememberable thing? What is the most important achievement you made in your life? He said, most important achievement, remembering. He said, that's what I'm waiting for. The best thing is yet to come. I'm just gearing up to do the greater work I'm going to do in the days to come. Don't be overexcited of what you are. Be excited of what you can become. You should have an originality as a leader. Don't duplicate other people. When you duplicate other people, you become only a duplicate. When you work on your own dreams, you become original. Remember one thing, God made you as an independent, unique, different personality from everybody else around the world. There is a genuineness in you. You need to rediscover that. You need to nurture that genuineness. We listen to other people. We follow other leaders to learn from their life, but not to imitate them. It's only to tell us, if he can do, I can do maybe better. It's only to learn how they have done things so that we can do our things the way we want it. So be original, be real, and be sociable. Be a friendly person, a person who are good in socializing, a person who is polite, always friendly. You can be the biggest leader in the world, but you still are a human being who have all the basic needs like anybody else. You need eating, you need sleeping, you need mating. You have all the needs like anybody else. Even you become the supreme leader of the world, you still have a feeling to love and to be loved. So be a person who is friendly. Be a person who is socially connected with people. Another side of leadership is that you must develop a skill of adaptability. You must be able to adapt new things. The things that you are doing now, or the things that you've done in the past, your leadership, may be very good, but not necessary. It can be practical in the days to come. So if you want to be a good leader, be good in adapting new things. So a leadership is something that you can be developed. A leadership, in order to become a good leader, you need to develop certain leadership trait. You need to develop certain leadership skills. I want to close it by repeating the leadership skills that you need to work on, and you will see it on the slide on the PowerPoint that these are the leadership skills that you need to develop. You need to develop verbal skills. You need to be honest. You need to be a person who takes initiatives. You should be aggressive. You should be self-confident, ambitious. You should maintain your originality, and you should be sociable, and you should be adaptable. Thank you for listening to me. I wish you all the best, that you will become a dynamic leader. You might have been a failure in the past, but I want to tell you, you can be a successful person in the future. Past is a history, future is a mystery. Today is a present. Work on today for the future. Let not your past work on something that pulls you down. Let your future be a mystery that pulls you up. Be a person of upward looking. I say like this, in order to go up, you need to get up. In order to gain, you must give up. In order to take that things at the high level, you must be willing to lose what's under your arm. As long as you're not willing to lose this, you cannot lift your hand to gain the new. So get up to go up, give up to gain. Thank you for listening. All the best.
I hope this message has blessed your life. You are welcome to join with us for a lively praise and worship at Emerald Lawns every Sunday at 11 a.m. Come, join us and enjoy the power of changed lives. Once you meet Jesus, your life will never be the same again. Jesus is the answer for all your problems. When God works in you, you are a winner. I believe you are blessed by the message that you have heard today. We are working constantly to make a change in our community. Come and support our charity called El Shaddai Street Child Rescue, rescuing thousands of children from the streets and slums of India and making them responsible, confident citizens of the nation. For more information, please visit our website www.childrescue.net. We are looking after hundreds of children through our children's home, shelters, and community care centers. You can help a child go to school by paying Rs 800 a month, or you may support a child in our homes by paying 1,500 a month. Feel free to come and volunteer with us to help the poor and needy. Thank you and God bless you.
So today I wanted to talk to you about positive parenting, how to discipline the children. Now, disciplining the children, it's a global issue. We read in the papers about child abuse, the children committing suicide because they've been spanked, they've been disciplined in the wrong way. And if you travel across to the West, you see that child discipline has gone to another extreme where parents have no more control over the children, where the children have control over the parents. And I come across parents who are really scared of their children, and parents are worried. And I have come across children who are threatening parents, "Mama, what's the magic number? Should I call the number?" And when you come to the East, there is so much of child abuse. Child has been hit, child has been beaten up, child has been treated without any respect, and children are treated as something smaller or as little, maybe less than an animal. So disciplining child in a positive way help the child to be developed as a smart child. Disciplining child in a negative way, like spanking and hitting and using insulting words and abusive words, may make your child as a good child, but he can become a dumb child, or he can grow up with lots of revenge and bitterness and lack of self-confidence and various kinds of problems. So let's look into discipline aspect of children today. How you going to discipline a child? Yeah, you have a right to spank the child, but in a positive and constructive way. And whenever you make an action in your life, it's so important that you got to sit and think about the consequences and after effect. It's always good to ask why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's always good to ask what is the result this so-called action of mine is going to make. So without planning, without thinking, taking action is more of responding to the situation rather than leading a life with a purpose. So when you look at the children, every parent agree with me that you love your children and you believe that the children are your most important asset, and you would go all your way, all out of your way, and you will work hard, you will make everything possible to give a good food and good clothing for your child, and every parent want a good future for your child. And though we have all this good aspect, we yet land up doing things wrongly. It's not because we are evil or we are wicked, it's just because we really don't know what to do. So today morning I'm talking to you about the importance of positive parenting. What kind of damage it can make when you hit a child or when you spank a child. In 29 countries in the world, spanking a child is totally illegal, even in the home. In 113 countries, it's prohibited, the corporal punishment in the schools. But in past several years, many psychiatrists, many educators, many researchers have strongly recommended that spanking a child will not solve any problems. It in fact makes the problem worse. When you deal with the children, you must remember that every child have a right as much as an adult. A child have a right for education, right for survival, right for development, and right for food, and a child has a right just as much as any other adult. And somebody said, child is a father of an adult. There is so much an adult can learn from a child. A child have equal right like you and me. Most of the time you hit or spank the child, it's because you lack respect for the child. You don't treat child as a person whom you need to respect. I want to tell you one thing, you better learn to respect the children, because another 20 years go down, you are going to be an old man or old woman, and this child is going to be young and energetic, vibrant adult. Better you learn to treat them well. The more better you can treat them, more better they are going to treat you back in the days to come. And when you study about the child rights, you must remember one thing: every child must have a chance to know and ask questions: why, what, when. A child has a right to know what's happening around him, what is the reason for it. A child must have a chance to think over his life and his situations, rather than things have been forced into his life. A child must have a chance to express his feeling, explain what he goes through, and react to the situation. As much as you have a right to express your views and opinions, a child also must have a right. When you look into the spanking or child discipline, when you discipline a child in the wrong way, you abuse the child physically, emotionally, and mentally. In all those cases, the child grew up with an unhealthy attitude in his life. A father who smokes cigarette, he cannot say to the child, "I'm telling you not to smoke." A father who comes drunk in the night and can't tell the child in the morning, "You cannot drink, it's bad." I hear some parents say, "Son, I made a mistake, you make sure you don't make the mistake." The child will turn around and say that, yeah, like you had your chance, it's my turn, and like you made a mistake, let me also make the mistake. So that's ridiculous to say to somebody to do something which you don't do. It's ridiculous to say to a child not to smoke when you are smoking. When you talk about this so-called bad behavior, it's not a bad behavior, it's just child is responding to the situation that's around them. So let's look into the hitting the child. What are the bad impact it's going to make in child's life? Number one, a hitting children teaches them to become a hitter or become a Hitler. What you give out or what you put in is what is going to come out. So extensive research around the world shows most of the criminals, most of the children who become criminals, they had a past history of being beaten up, or gone through several corporal punishment, or they grew up in a very, very negative situation. When you show an aggression or a violent behavior to children, that's what they are going to learn. It's so confusing for a child. The same hand you put and pamper them or carry them, or you touch them on the cheek and to say "I love you" or "what a good boy you are," the same hand turn around to hit them. It's confusing for a child. So if you use the same hand to give and to hit, next time when you lift the hand, the child really don't know what are you going to do. So you give such a negative message, or you say good words, "my son," "my darling," or whatever you say. Then the same mouth he used to use the word "you're a stupid fellow," "you're an idiot," you're a dumb fellow," and what a useless fellow you are. When you use all these negative words, you keep on using negative and positive words to the children. Children really don't know what to believe. So after a period of time, child stops believing what you say. As a result, when you grow up in a teenage, when you face crisis and when his body starts developing, he has all kinds of physical and emotional needs, he will not come to you for counsel, he will go to his friend or maybe some wrong people whom you don't want your children to communicate. If you wanted to win the confidence of your child, you make sure you give them a steady, direct, positive communication. In many cases, the so-called bad behavior of the child is not a bad behavior at all. If the child is reacting or responding to the situation in the only way which he knows. Now when you talk about the child discipline, a child can understand most of the things from the 6th month of his age. He can read his mother's emotions, he can read the situations around. If you wanted to really discipline your child in a positive way, you must start disciplining your child as young as possible. From the age of 6 months, you can start disciplining your child. You can talk to the child, because child relate to you well and you can relate to the child. But I have seen some parents, that time when the child is mischievous or crying or rebellious, when they come to 1 year, 2 years, some parents tend to enjoy their rebellious nature or their mischievous nature. When the child becomes 21, when he acts mischievous or rebellious, you are trying to correct, it does not work. It does not work. So you must start disciplining your child the earlier as possible, but with a positive approach. Whenever you deal with a child, your no should be no and your yes should be yes. So child is very clear that what he can expect from you as a parent and what's his responsibility as a child. When you talk about the bad behavior, most of the bad behavior come out as a result of neglect, as a result of lack of time parents spending with the child, as a result of the abuse they went through. It just is trying to gain your attention. Most of the children who has bad behavior, it's not the behavior that they born with. Look at a newborn child, he's innocent, he's lovely, everybody loves a newborn child. But if the child grew up to a bad behavior, who has to be blamed? It's not the child has to be blamed, the parent has to be blamed. It's the child become according to how you treated him, how you disciplined him. Many a time, it is not the child who needs the spanking, it is the parent who needs the spanking, because the parent is responsible. If you don't want to take the responsibility, it's better you don't have the children. When you get married, when you think of having the children, it's good for you to read some good books on children and how child pregnancy and the childbirth, the disciplining of the child. There are hundreds of books available in the market. I remember when I got married, I was telling in a meeting, I was invited as a couple, and I told them, please pray for me. I don't know how to be a husband because I got married for the first time. I'm not an expert. And I told my wife, look, in case you come across bad behavior from me, please help me to sort it out, because I'm not an expert as a husband because I'm married for the first time. So when you have the children, you've got to remember, you're also not an expert, so you need to read books, you need to listen to others. You may need a family counselor. You may need to learn the positive parenting. Many a time the parents hit the children just because they do not know any other way. Many a time the bad behavior of a child, maybe it's due to lack of proper sleep, lack of nutrition, maybe some hidden allergy, maybe lack of fresh air, maybe lack of exercise, or maybe insufficient freedom. If the child is not having enough freedom to explore his world. When you deal with the children, the greatest need a child has is the undivided attention from his parents. You as a parent, you need to spend time with your children. If you are so busy in making money And if you know that you have no time to spend with the children, then please do a favor for the humanity, don't make the children. When you make a children, don't spend time. And when you raise up a children in a bad behavior, in a wrong attitude, you are building a liability for the society. Your child is going to be a headache for the community. You make the child to become an asset for the family. You make sure that when you have a child, when the child grows, you want to lift your head up. You want to keep your head up. You want to be proud of your children. If you are a parent, you agree with me that you love sitting somewhere and watching your child grow. So every parent loves his children. The so-called bad behavior of your child is a result of his frustration. You as a parent is responsible to help him. When a child behaves badly, you as a parent or you as a teacher, you cannot hit the child because of his bad behavior, because he is not responsible for it. His parent is responsible. Many a time the parent is the one who needs spanking and correction and scolding rather than the child. If you are a teacher or a parent, I want to tell you, when you correct the child, please don't scold the child. Please don't ridicule the child in such a way that the child's esteem go down. In a way that child feels so humiliated. Don't do that. So when you beat a child or when you punish a child, you stop the child from thinking constructively about his life situation, how to solve and how to solve the conflict or how to handle his problems around his little world. It may not be as fancy as yours, it may not be as big as yours, but for him it's really big. So allow him to handle his problem. When your child loses temper and says something very loud or something that you really don't like, instead you shout back, why don't you take little patience and allow him to express? Talk to him about it. When you punish a child's mind becomes occupied with thoughts of revenge or bitterness or anger. Spank the child, you are filling child's mind with the revengeful thoughts, with the bitterness, with the depressed feeling, which stops the child from thinking positively and constructively. A punished child learns very little about how to handle or how to prevent the problems in his life. I'm not saying that you should not spank the child at all. I'll come to that later. There is a place where you can spank the child. There is a place where you can discipline a child. But you should never discipline a child when you're angry, when you're disturbed. Whenever you think you need to discipline a child, you sit somewhere quietly, take a little time, think about how you're going to handle the situation. So if your child behaves badly, or if your child does something that you really don't like, before you address it, it's worth for you to check why he did what he did. Take a little time to check about it and ask yourself, am I being a reason for the child in his behavior? And then think about how I can handle this situation. Then call the child, sit with the child, discuss with the child. This particular behavior you have is totally unacceptable. Allow him to talk about it. Then you reply. I'll tell you, when you talk to a child one-on-one, 9 out of 10 children will respond to you positively. There may be a place where you need to spank your child because pain works sometimes. I know not everybody agree with me for that. But if ever in case you spank your child, in case, I say in case, I'm not advocating spanking at all. In case you spank your child, it's so important after that you sit with the child, spend at least 2 hours with the child or 1 hour. Talk to the child. It's all about communication. It's funny, you're very careful when you communicate with the people in your workplace. You're so careful when you communicate with people in your church or in your club. But when it comes to communicating with your children, you take them for granted, you don't listen to them at all, and then you claim that you love you love your children. Some parents say to children, darling, don't you know that I'm working so hard for you? Child doesn't need your hard work, he doesn't understand. Child needs your time. I remember one lady whom I was counseling, and her son committed suicide. He started taking drugs, and at the end he committed suicide. And his mother was working in the Gulf, and she came back. She lost her mind. She was screaming and yelling. She showed me a letter which her son sent to her. The last letter her son sent, asking, Mama, are you staying there to make money, to make a gold profit for me? She was telling me that he sent several letters asking her to come back. Mama, I'm feeling so lonely. Mama, I'm lonely. I'm feeling bored. Please come back. Mama was working in Gulf to make money so that my son will not have to have the suffering like I had. Then she opened the cases and cases of bed sheets, clothes, crockeries, cutlery. She said, these are all I bought for my son. When I build a new house for him, I want his house to be full of things for him good. But she said, I'm sitting in the middle of all these things, totally desperate and lonely. I even bought clothes for the children he's going to have. So when you deal with the children, you got to remember what is the most important that child need is not your money, it's not your hard work, it's your time. So when you discipline a child, when you beat a child, it interferes the bond relationship between the parent and the child. When your child is born, there is a bond developed between the child. Do you know that when your child was small, you are the hero of the child? No matter whatever situation your child was, the presence of his parent made the child so secure. When a small child faces any danger, what does she say? She cries, Mama or Dada. When a child is carried by her parent, the child thinks, I'm totally safe. Child has no fear. But as the child grows up, if you have abusive way of disciplining, child lose the confidence in you. That bond is broken. So now when the child faces difficulty, either the child becomes fearful or rebellious, or the child finds confidence in somebody else. Now you as a parent, you tell me, do you want your child to be confident in you or somebody else? I'll tell you, no parent like to hear that my child is not confident in me, but confident in my next door neighbor. So when you develop a child, if you develop in a positive way, there will be a bond. That bond will never break. Now many parents beat the child or spank the child or have a negative kind of parenting because that's the kind of parenting they have learned in their childhood. You say, my parents beat me, I don't have any problem. I'm doing the same way. Friend, I want to tell you, we are living in a new generation. This is a different generation. This is a generation of individualistic, materialistic, aggressive generation. In this generation, it's called me culture generation. It's not about us, it's about me. In the olden days, we had very little information. Most of the so-called obedience or submission, it was not out of freedom, it was out of ignorance and slavery. In those days, people behaved in obedience to their parents because they did not know themselves. It was based on ignorance. But today we live in a generation of information. And there is a tremendous peer pressure on your child. Listen to the conversation children have today and try to remember the conversation you had when you were in your childhood. It's totally different. The things that you could never even dare to imagine in your childhood, your children are doing it now. So if you want to be a smart parent, you must learn the methods of parenting. You as a parent, it's a high time for you to learn positive parenting. Think about your child's future. Everything possible, do for them to make them as a smart, capable children. Beating your children is not an answer. Responding your child's bad behavior is not an answer. If you beat a child, he is going to be a beater. If you hit a child, he is going to be a hitter and later to be a Hitler. If you scold a child all the time, you're dampening the spirit of the child. And then you expect your child to do well. I'm sorry, your child will not do well. So I want to challenge you from today. Talk to your children positively. Don't spank or hit your child at all. Next time when you get angry with your children or with your child, don't do anything. Just sit down. Think about it. Why did my child did what he did? How can I help him to change? I'm sure you will come across many ways how to change. You know, I was taking class in Trivandrum on stop hitting children, and I asked the children, if Mama get angry with Dada, what will she do? They said she hit us. If Dada get angry with Mama, what she do? Children said he beat me. Most of the time, the child becomes the victim of the anger of Mama and Dada. Don't use your children as a punching pad or a bouncing ball for your emotions. Your responsibility to bring your child in a godly way, in a good way. Your responsibility as a parent is to bring the child in a healthy, constructive way where the child becomes a responsible citizen who will make a change in this world. I will tell you, if you develop your child in a positive way, in the days to come, you can be proud of your children and your children will look after you. Your children will have great regards. Being respected by your children is the greatest honor that you can ever think of. So I want to wish you all the best today, that you will become a positive parent. You will have a healthy relationship with your child, that you will love your child and your child will love her. Your child will think world of you as a parent. You as a parent, work hard to develop positive approach. You need to work hard in your home, much more than you work in your workplace. The greatest asset you can have is your children. Your children are more important than your cars, your business, your buildings, your home, more than anybody else in the world. God bless you. Learn to love your child in the positive attitude and nurture your child in a positive way where your child will become a wealth to this world. Your child will contribute great things for this world. Your child become a crown of the society. Thank you.
I hope this message has blessed your life. You are welcome to join with us for a lively praise and worship at Emerald Lawns every Sunday at 11 a.m. Come, join us and enjoy the power of changed lives. Once you meet Jesus, your life will never be the same again. Jesus is the answer for all your problems. When God works in you, you are a winner. I believe you are blessed by the message that you have heard today. We are working constantly to make a change in our community. Come and support our charity called El Shaddai Street Child Rescue, rescuing thousands of children from the streets and slums of India and making them responsible, confident citizens of the nation. For more information, please visit our website www.childrescue.net. We are looking after hundreds of children through our children's home, shelters, and community care centers. You can help a child go to school by paying Rs 800 a month, or you may support a child in our homes by paying 1,500 a month. Feel free to come and volunteer with us to help the poor and needy. Thank you and God bless you.